All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Everyday Dad channel, and today we want to do an everyday carry for the everyday dad. So we're going to start off with one of the biggest pieces here, and that is my Glock 30. I do carry a handgun with me every day. I carry the Glock 30 as my everyday carry. Pistol, I do own other pistols, but because of certain things in my life that I feel this is more beneficial for the mere fact that I am a law enforcement officer and I carry a Glock 21 on duty, which is a 45 caliber as well. So my mags, my holsters for the 21 all interchange with this guy. I am carrying a Streamlight TLR1 on it for a weapon mounted light. So that is the handgun. The holster is a Gundo Tactical holster. They're a cottage company I found online. Good thick Kydex. I haven't had any issue with it. I've had it for about 6 months now. The clip on it is very strong. It doesn't slide or sag too much. And I've enjoyed it for about 50 bucks. This holster has done really well. I do carry a spare mag with me. Right now I have the Glock 30 magazine in there with Spear Gold Dots, which is the duty round we carry at work. So now, real quick about my everyday carry. A lot of this everyday carry is stuff I've found at pawn shops, in the grab box, or thrift stores, discount online shopping. I'm a firm believer in you can't spend a ton of money on an EDC that if you lose it, you can't replace it. So I tend to buy stuff, where I can find it cheap. This came from one of the local pawn shop gun stores in a grab box for $5. Also Kydex, nice and thick, one piece, good strong clip on it. I've had this for roughly 2 years now and haven't had an issue. It's nice shallow fit for the mag, so relatively low profile. So here is my everyday weapons carry, Glock 30, Kydex holsters, and spare mag with the TLR1 Streamlight. All right, so next up, pocket knife. I carry the Emerson Wave. This was bought for me by my wife when I graduated the police academy. That was about roughly 16 years ago, and this thing has been with me ever since. It is my everyday carry work knife. I do carry it most time off duty, but I don't want to lose it, so I take it off at home and switch it out. But with the Emerson, if you've never played with the Emerson Wave feature, this thing is wonderful for quick deployment. And with the combo serrated straight edge, it stayed pretty sharp. I have sharpened it. I've had, to clean it. I have taken it apart and cleaned all the lint out of it and cleaned the liners. I've had to, undo the clip and give it a little bend and make it, retain some spring into it. But overall, for a 16-year-old knife, this thing has been a workhorse. From everything from splitting small pieces of wood while camping to cut seat belts. I've, cut boxes. It is an everyday carry blade. So that is the Emerson SOC FK model knife. I don't know if you can see that or not. This was bought at a local tactical store. I don't believe they're open anymore, but that was in Virginia Beach, Virginia. So wonderful knife. I love it. Emerson, your products are great. All right, so for an everyday carry knife at home, I do like this Boker Multitool style Victorinox Swiss Army knife. It has been very good. I bought this at on woot.com. I believe it was like 65% off, so I think I paid right around $20 for it. Very sharp knife, has retained an edge pretty well. It's your classic Swiss Army knife. So it does have a seatbelt cutter on there. I thought that was a pretty cool addition to this knife. seatbelt cutter, scissors, bottle opener, can opener. Obviously, it's got the corkscrew and the awl. So it's an overall good knife. I carry this most of the time with me when I'm off duty, if I'm not carrying the Emerson. I do have other knives. I have Benchmade, Spyderco, CRKT, Gerber, Kershaw. I have a ton of pocket knives that I've collected over the years, but these two have seemed to be my go-to pocket knives. So the nice thing about this Boker that really kind of sold me on it is the pocket clip. Yeah, I can take it out and like take it off and put it deep in my pocket, but this has been a really good, strong pocket clip. It sits deep. I can switch, from tip up to tip down, and it's been a really good knife. So that is the Boker. I don't remember the model, but it does have the micarta scales on it. So those are my knives. I do carry a multi-tool. I carry right now the Leatherman rebar. This was a thrift store find for $8. Can't beat that. You can't beat a thrift store find for $8. So the one thing I like about the Leatherman rebar, and I do have 2 Leatherman waves, and I have a couple other Leatherman tools, but this has been my favorite so far for one big reason, and that is the interchangeable blade for the bolt cutter or the wire cutter. If you look at the rest of my Leatherman waves, these are all chewed up, and I have no way of changing that out. So at least with this, if I need to, I can change it out. And it has all the standard stuff: the knife, the saw, serrated blades. The thing that I like about it in this one, instead of having the socket tool for the Phillips head or the flat, it has a longer, just Phillips head. Seems to be much more sturdy, rigid, a little easier to use. So it does have the lock, so things aren't going to fold on you. So that's a plus. Now the only downside to this versus the wave, in my mind, is the ability to one hand open a blade on the outside. This, you're actually having to open it up and get the blade out. But I do carry other blades with me, so that's not a huge deal. I do carry a little bit of cord on here. This is 0.75 millimeter cord that I got from a local emergency store. I think it's about 5 feet of cord that I can take off and use for anything. And it also allows me to pull this out of my pocket easier. But just having this little bit of cord has been nice. All right, so there's all the kind of sharp, pointy, and boom everyday carry tools I have. The next one, probably most important, is the flashlight. This is a Streamlight ProTac 2 AAA, and it takes 2 AAA batteries. I believe it's 80 lumens. I can't remember, but I believe it's 80 lumens. It's really super bright for how big it is. It's got a constant on, momentary if you want. You can go to strobe, or you go to a smaller medium light, which I believe is 40 lumens. You can see how wore this is. I have carried this for 5 years. So through midnight shift at work, through time as a canine officer, day shift, this has been a great supplemental light at work, as well as a great primary light as my everyday carry. The only complaint I have is it's long. It's about the length of my hand. And when clipped in your pocket, and say you go bend over or sit down, it tends to, the clip, not very far, it's not going to fall out, but it tends to, the clip comes off and then it goes deep into your pocket. So that is the downfall of having a long light. When I have to replace this, if this ever goes out, I'll probably go with the shorter version of this they sell that I believe is the same specs. But when I bought this 5 years ago for $20, it was a great light. And so that is the Streamlight ProTac 2 AAA. Great light. I do have other lights. But that one has been my favorite just because of weight and size and, you know, the ability it had. All right, another important thing, chapstick. This is an everyday carry for me in the wintertime. I always lose chapstick, so, you know, I may buy 2 or 3 of these. I actually stole this one from my wife. She always, you know, buys them, keeps them brand new in her purse in case she needs them. Don't tell her, but I stole that one out of her purse. And keys. Because of my job, I have multiple different sets of keys, so each set of keys has a different purpose, but this one is a set of keys I carry at least for 12 hours out of the day because they're my work keys. And I put a Gerber shard on here. You know, everybody has these cheap little keychain multi-tools. However, the Gerber shard I have found to be very useful, not only because I've used it to open bottles, I've actually used the Phillips head on it. Let's get that in focus. I've actually used it to pry nails up. And I've even used it at work to get into a door and get enough space to get a different tool in there to open a door. So this thing has been very strong, well worth the couple dollars you know, that you would spend on it. And I have 2 of these on 2 different keychains, so I use them a lot. All right, so that's my standard everyday carry when it comes to stuff that, you know, you have to add to your everyday carry. The only other thing is my phone. I have a Galaxy Note 3 I'm filming with right now, and then my wallet. And of course, being a law enforcement officer, you want to carry a wallet and a wallet badge so to identify yourself. I know some people don't want to. I believe if you're going to carry a firearm or you're going to act in, you know, the law enforcement capacity at all, off duty, this is a must. It's actually a policy for us, you know, to carry our ID when we're off duty. But in my wallet, obviously the standard credit cards, excuse me, credit cards, IDs, library cards, gift cards, stuff like that. The only other thing that I have in here that I would say is a, you know, piece of an EDC is a magnifying card. I think I got it for 20, 25 cents at that local emergency store. I have actually used it to start a fire with the kids outside, just playing around. So it does work. It's a little dirty and dingy, but it worked fine. So I keep that in my wallet just as an emergency. So, all right, guys, here's my everyday carry from the Glock 30 with Kydex holster inside the waistband. Spare mag, Emerson Wave, Boker Multitool, Leatherman Multitool, Streamlight Pro Tac, Gerber shard, and everything else that goes with it. This is my EDC. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. If you can see somewhere I can change, add, subtract, let me know. Being a police officer, you know, we don't have a ton of money to spend on all this cool black tactical toys. So this is my everyday carry on a budget. And, man, I just love going to thrift stores and pawn shops and secondhand stores to get what I can. And it has worked out really well for me, especially with a lot of these tools and holsters. And, you know, I'm not breaking the bank. So I can maintain spending money on my kids and my wife where I should be. So, all right, guys, hit like if you want to. If you don't, that's all right. Don't hit like. You can hit the thumbs down if you want. But have a great day, and I'll see you with the next video probably this week. And I want to talk about finding stuff at thrift stores and how you can do it and where to look and what you can do to recondition some really good, expensive tools at a discount. So, all right, have a good day and see you next video.